What they do, what it is, it's Orion, aka Brass Balls, a deep dive tape stash, bringing it to you live in effect. Before I get into this, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel Orion Hip Hop, where you can peep previous episodes of Deep Dive Tape Stash, along with dope ass music and obscure demos that you can feast your ears on in one page, and that is Orion Hip Hop. Appreciate all of y'all. Please like, share, repost, all of that. Let's get into this one right here because this is a gem. Pull out them Speedos, get them goggles on, because we gonna take a deep dive in the Hudson River. And this is the sampler tape for Prince Paul's magnum opus, Prince Among Thieves. Prince Among Thieves came out in 1998. This was a concept album by the great producer Prince Paul, known for his previous production for Nutt-so on their first 3 albums and what he was able to contribute to that. Gravedigger's 6 Feet Deep is an all-time classic and was shadowed over by some of the releases that came out that year, including Enter the 36 Chambers, but I think a lot of people would recognize Gravedigger's 6 Feet Deep as an all-out classic 5-micer hip-hop album. Prince Paul's production touch was crazy. And one might think RZA was at his peak, but if RZA did not partner up with Prince Paul, what would have been the RZA sound? And there had to have been some kind of influence Prince Paul had on RZA's production techniques at that time. A solo album that he did put out that went under the radar was Psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis is crazy fucking dope, and I think the reason it fell under the radar so much is because Prince Paul really tried to go outside of what people were expecting from him, and the album is kind of all over the place, but I love it. I think Psychoanalysis is a great fucking album, and you should definitely take a dive into that one, as well as the other previous works from Prince Paul that I just mentioned. Before I even go any further on this one, I want to shout out Open Mike Eagle, because he had an incredible podcast with Prince Paul where they went into the Nutt-so albums, they went into the Gravediggers album, Psychoanalysis, and of course, Prince Among Thieves, which is what we are here for. This is a sampler tape I got blessed with online. It came out in 1998. Now, the tape itself only has one track. The track repeats on both sides, and it's kind of meant as a commercial for the album itself. This is hailed as one of the illest concept albums because of what Prince Paul was able to accomplish with this. He had 2 main stars on it, and that is Breezley Bruin of the Juggernauts and Big Shaw of Horror City. They were like the 2 protagonists and antagonists of the story. The way this album was laid out was supposed to be like a whole movie, and it really was that, like a rock opera, if you will. And they definitely did they thing on this, and because Prince Paul was who he was at that time, he was able to get some all-star lineup on this, man. We're talking about Kool Keith, EVERLAST, Exhibit, Sadat X, De La Soul, RZA made a guest appearance, Chubb Rock, Big Daddy Kane. The list is crazy as far as the guests that he was able to manage on this and the roles he was able to give them. And every track is a concept within itself that feeds on to the greater story of what is Prince Among Thieves. Prince Among Thieves was ahead of its time. It got released on Tommy Boy, and in 1998 when they released this, Tommy Boy dropped the ball majorly. 1998 is like the later end of the 90s era, but this is where you got Mos Def coming out, Black Star. This is where you have Eminem starting to come out. So this album could have made a lot more noise had they properly promoted it. One of the things they did do correctly, though, is the initial video for this album was basically like a 7-minute long video where you got a taste of these different guest appearances and what they meant to the album and how these dudes was rapping and everything on each of the songs. So I'm gonna put a link to that in the description box. As always, if you're on the YouTube channel, that's where you can go to that description box and peep the links, because I always do that for my peoples out there. Personal favorites from this album for me is Horror City's MC Hustle. That joint, the beat, the way Velour rhymes on it, it's one of my favorite joints from the album. Other bangers on it is You Got Shot towards the end of the album, where basically Big Shaw and Breezly Bruin are going at it. And then you got the EVERLAST joint, Men in Blue. To me, it's like one of the illest like rapper concept songs, rapping from the perspective of Crooked Cop. And then, of course, the number one song on this album for me personally is Big Daddy Kane's Macula Theory. Macula and the way he raps on this shit is so pimp, is so on brand with Big Daddy Kane. If you go to that Open Mic Ego podcast episode he has with Prince Paul, I really love what Prince Paul was able to give as far as insights for it. Now, one thing he didn't touch on is the fact that one of the verses that Big Daddy Kane kicks on that song, he had actually used on an unreleased track with Tupac, MC Hammer, and Outlawz. Yeah, you heard correctly. There's a track called Too Late Playa featuring MC Hammer, Outlawz, and Tupac. Big Daddy Kane kicks one of the verses from the Macula Theory on that one. So go peek that. I'm going to put a link for that in the description box. Yo, you see? This is the one channel that's going to give you all of the goodies in one thing. You feel me? The main stars, like I said, was Breezly Bruin and Big Shaw. Breezly Bruin, at that time, I didn't know much of him back in 98 when this came out, but I would then dive into the Juggernauts and songs like Clear Blue Skies. It's like this dude was supposed to be the one, man, but something happened in 1999, 2000, Viacom, Clear Channel. They took over and the payola got crazy and we didn't get the same amount of potency from MCs as we deserved. And people often ask, what happened? Well, in the 2000s, that's one of the variables that came into it. Clear Channel, Viacom, they completely dismantled the way the food chain was supposed to work as far as what music got put out. That's a whole other podcast. That's a whole other video for y'all. Let me get back to this. Prince Paul is one of my favorite producers, and this album is primarily one of the reasons why. After releasing Prince Among Thieves, he would go on to follow it up with Handsome Boy Modeling School, a project that he partnered up with the great Dan the Automator. Amazing compilation that they put out. They actually put out two of them, and they're both dope as fuck in my opinion. Prince Paul would follow up a solo production edition of his own stuff with Politics of the Business. Also a great project, although I will say I don't think it's at the same level of Prince Among Thieves, but it is a dope project for y'all to check out, and all of this is available on streaming platforms. Horror City was a group from Long Island, and like I said, Big Shaw was one of the main characters in Prince Among Thieves. But I wish a Horror City album would have been put out to fruition. There is something out there that you can peep, and just listening to that and all these unreleased tracks produced by Prince Paul and them brothers, that would have been a great project to hear in its mastered completion. One thing I'm gonna say was ahead of its time with Prince Among Thieves is I want to say it predated Carmen. If anybody remembers Beyonce, Mos Def, they had the Carmen thing that came out. I think this album predates it, and it definitely predates Hamilton. I haven't been able to find any interviews of Lin-Manuel talking about Prince Paul and Prince Among Thieves and whether that had any influence on him with Hamilton. But that dude is a hip-hop head, and I know 100% certainty that he definitely had his ears on Prince Among Thieves, and it had some kind of influence on him releasing Hamilton. I'm not that big of a Hamilton fan, but some people are. To me, this is where it all originates from, Prince Among Thieves. Make no mistake about it. I'm also going to put a link to somebody who did a really dope episode on YouTube of Prince Among Thieves. He really went in deep with it. It's called Untold Stories of Prince Among Thieves. So I'm going to put a link for that as well, because I think it's important for people to hear different perspectives on this magnum opus from Prince Paul. Shout out to all my listeners out there. Shout out to everybody peeping this right now. Prince Among Thieves, I'm glad I got this in my collection. This is actually still in the cellophane wrapper, and I don't intend on opening it. So I was going to pop it in, but then I realized this thing is still wrapped up and it is what it is. Speaking of wrapping it up, I'm wrapping this up right now. Peace.